actually, we don't want there to be any more Lolas. That's important for us to say. And again, well, yes, I'm going to say it again, even if people don't like it. If the orders to leave French territory had been enforced, Lola would still be here.
Okay, friends, I'm here at the Paris Criminal Court for the trial of Dabia Benkired, who killed Lola under the circumstances you know about. Look at how beautiful the building is. This is where St. Louis, Louis IX, ruled in his time. We're right next to the Sainte Chapelle. Look, wow, oh yeah, okay. I think it's that way, judging by the cameras over there. All the national media and all. Hello?
Hello, congratulations on your work.
Thank you. Is it here?
Yes, the line, it's on the left there.
But I'm not going to enter the courtroom. It's being deliberated now, right?
Yes, I think they're going to deliberate. The session is suspended.
Okay, the session is suspended.
This is where the public lines up, but
All right.
they say the authorized public is about 10 people.
Yes, sure, it is.
A small room, so basically, well, the first 10 people over there, if they invite people to come, well, that's it.
And did you go into the room?
No, not at all. I never tried. I never could.
You had to come in really early in the morning?
But I came, and even those who arrived before me didn't make it.
Yes, okay.
We're going to wonder if we need to sleep inside the courthouse just to hope to get into the courtroom.
That's pretty outrageous because justice is served in the name of the people, but at the same time, the people can't attend.
Yes, and it's disrespectful to the family since we asked for a public hearing, not a closed one. But a way to have a disguised closed hearing is precisely to use the smallest courtroom, so that as few people as possible can get in.
Especially since the judges knew it was a case of national importance.
Yes, it's a case of national importance. The facts are serious. Many in the mainstream media agree.
And why are you here, dear sir?
To honor Lola, support her family, and demand justice. For me, it's a sign that she deserves the death penalty, but unfortunately it's no longer applied in France. It's been abolished.
Badinter was inducted into the Pantheon not long ago.
Yes, I know that, unfortunately. I don't think he's worthy of such honors, but well, anyway.
In this case, what did it stir up in you?
Well, it made me angry. The atrocity of the facts, the person's situation, so a person in an irregular situation who should have been deported but never was. There are a lot of failures, that's it.
What did you learn from this trial?
It only confirmed the crime was atrocious. With everything that was said, the abuse inflicted, the statements, well, from the accused. We have to call her the thing, well, her name is Dabia, but as her mother said further on, the thing. And so basically the accused, the shock of the accused, the forensic medical reports, well, everything that was presented during all these hearing sessions, it's atrocious. There you have it. This confirms the abomination of the crime of Lola's death.
Let's go. So this is the courtroom line, if I understood correctly. There's a lot of noise. Strange, the audience coming in. It's lively, you know? They're lively, they're young, and they're lively in the line. Don't you think so?
We faced a lot of hostility from the audience because the organization was really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, after staying here all week, we had some clashes because there were influencers who announced that it was public.
Yeah.
But the problem is, people say they're coming to show support. There are no signs. Do you remember on Giselle Pellicotte? People brought T-shirts and signs. Here people came. There was even a police officer who told me that he had been asked. A lady asked him where to buy tickets and if entry tickets were available.
Wow, it's basically a show.
Exactly. I'm a photojournalist at the agency. I tell a bit about what's happening because otherwise, later on, they use our photos and then they don't really say what's actually going on. You see behind the scenes, so I tell that story.
So, was there a bit of commotion for this trial?
Yes, there was some commotion. The line stretched around the corner and kept going. Well, you know, people were often being reminded to behave, but they hadn't planned for it. Then the closed session ended. They set 18 seats for a high-profile trial. Some feel they intentionally picked a small room with limited seats. It's a shame because, for example, at the Mazan trial, there were hundreds of seats in the room. Broadcast rooms let the public watch the process.
That's normal, as justice is done in the people's name.
Of course, people need to see for themselves. That's what they vote for, that's why. Well, we're in a society governed by law. People should have, since we don't broadcast trials when it's public, when the closed session is lifted, people should be able to have access. So we do transcriptions, you see. We're here, we're in the transcription room, we explain how things are going. But they might want to see other angles, other perspectives. We're not here to judge whether it's creepy, sane, or whatever. We've always had people who come to watch the trials, but this time, in any case, it's a first. There's an enthusiasm, so that's good. There's an enthusiasm among young people about the trials. Personally, when I was young, I didn't go to see trials, especially such horrible trials. But people are coming, so we should welcome them properly. That's what I think. I don't know what you think about it.
Same.
There you go. It's just common sense.
Tell me, why did you come today?
To attend the trials will more likely hear the verdicts.
Yeah,
To get answers. Because I want to know why someone who was supposed to leave French territory was able to murder a little girl. Quite simply.
did it impact or shock you?
We pay taxes for state protection, but the state doesn't actually protect us.
We pay a lot of taxes, by the way.
We pay high taxes, so this isn't acceptable. I want answers, but I have none.
About the case itself, we've seen over ththese past few days Dabia Ben-Kired explain her actions.
Yes.
What did you think about all of that?
Well, she changes her mind all the time. She doesn't believe, she doesn't even know what she's saying. Her story keeps changing, so it's not believable.
Let's say the main theory was that it was to get revenge on her ex.
If everyone's seeking revenge on an ex-killed little girls, it would never end. That's not possible. That's just, that's not acceptable. And honestly, I don't think anyone could accept that. You feel violated because there's a moral prohibition. It's about touching children, knowing the elderly, it's something obvious. But not for her, it's the realm of the inconceivable.
Are you a father yourself?
No, I'm not a father.
All right, sorry.
I'm not a father, but I almost was. But I take care of children. Well, I know kids, we have a niece, and I feel connected to the family, of course. Anyway, even if I think it's all of France that's affected by this story, yes.
It left a mark. It left a mark on people.
Oh yes, terribly, terribly.
It was actually during this case that we discovered the term obligation to leave French territory. We discovered this acronym at that time.
Obligation to leave French territory is really just an invitation to leave. Yes, that's true. Because actually one of the first missions of a state is to make sure who comes onto French territory. And a person, if they no longer have the right, must therefore leave it. In my view, the French state has failed in its responsibility on 2 counts. A state must ensure the safety of its citizens.
Ensure those required to leave actually do so.
Yes, absolutely. The state, which holds the monopoly on legitimate violence, has a responsibility in return. It must fulfill its duties, which it hasn't done.
What would be a sentence that, in your eyes, would be merciful?
You see, the death penalty no longer exists. Well, except for the victims, of course. Well, that's clear. In that case, for those kinds of people, we let them live, but nothing more than life itself. That means life imprisonment, but real life imprisonment, because actually we learn that life imprisonment isn't real, but words have meaning. Life means for life. And so, in my opinion, well, the only sentence is real life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Even in 30, 40, 50, 60 years. She's a young person. She's 27 years old, I believe. So she has a life expectancy of 60 years, even 60 years. So in 2085, she shouldn't get out. And that's to protect the population. And it's also a message we're sending to other people. If you take someone's life, well, you won't be able to rejoin society. What worries me is that in 30 or 40 years, when the passions have faded, when it's no longer relevant, it won't be in the news anymore. A court decides to release her, it's just not possible. Someone who takes a life no longer deserves to be part of society. That's exactly what I think. So life in prison means life in prison.
And you, what do you think, ma'am?
Me, I don't even know what to say to you because I'm a mother, and honestly, I'm outraged, really. That's it, quite simply.
Imagine if what was done to Lola was done to your child.
I can't imagine it precisely because it's just too hard. I'm really angry, because I'm Muslim too, you see. But today I just can't understand why she did that, actually. especially a child. She didn't ask for this.
These seem like voodoo practices from back home, though I'm not sure what to call them.
That I don't know.
That's what she said in court.
No, but that doesn't justify killing a child. I'm sorry, and I don't believe it. I don't know why she did it.
A blonde child to find a treasure.
No, that's impossible.
It's just that we read a lot about it in the press.
Personally, I don't believe it, you see? Afterwards, she can say whatever she wants, actually, because she even said that she was raped during her childhood and all. That's not a reason, I'm sorry, that's not a reason to take it out on an innocent little girl.
The family that was broken, the mother lost her daughter, she lost her husband, her son will have lifelong trauma. So these are damages, maximum damages. It's about putting yourself in the inconceivable. You can't put yourself in other people's shoes. I don't have the words to describe being in their shoes. We're not in other people's shoes. The suffering of this woman is beyond critical. It's inconceivable. But the state is responsible. That I just can't, no matter how many problems I find in every direction. The state must ensure security and achieve results as it has the means, but is not obligated. The means were not implemented in 2020 when the borders were closed. There is political will to act, so orders to leave French territory can be restarted. It's a matter of will. We went to the moon, we're capable of sending back two or three delinquents. It's simply a matter of will, all a matter of will.
And you, young man, what are you doing here? Tell me.
To attend the verdict of the trial.
What are you expecting from this verdict?
That a sentence matching the severity of what was committed will be pronounced.
What do you mean?
The highest in our judicial system, that is life imprisonment without parole.
It seems to me, and I don't want to say anything wrong, that even life imprisonment without parole, actually, after a while, you can still get out.
After 30 years?
30 years, that's it. Even the word incompressible. It's misleading. That is to say 30 years, and then afterwards you can get out if you behave well or if you have some...
France no longer has justice.
Unfortunately.
Do you think there is a lot of leniency?
Oh, yes, absolutely. That's exactly why there are often repeat offenses.
Not at all.
Do that outside on the steps.
Yeah, all right, okay.
Because here in the room, I don't know.
I did it for a long time, but I don't know. Yeah, okay, that's fine. No problem. So, you saw, right? They kicked me out of the hallway in front of the courtroom. I think I have the right to question people in the courthouse, but I'd rather not cause any trouble. Well, I've seen you on television plenty of times. Well, look.
Oh, yes, sorry.
But now, so what's the story here?
So here's the press area. So you won't be able to walk around inside, otherwise the police will tell you to stay here.
That's what happened. Why are the cameras aimed there?
The exit is right there. The police officer is at the entrance, which is also the exit of the Court of Cassation. I heard they requested the maximum there. So life imprisonment without parole.
That means 30 years, actually.
30 years?
Yes, in France, the minimum is 30 years. You may request release after 30 years.
Yes, like that other guy, what's his name, who became known in 1974. He was freed after 30 years. Patrick Henry, so he did, I think, 30 years, and then he was released. He got caught in Spain with drugs. And so, he went back to prison, and he died in prison. He was released just before the end of his 30 years, because he had good behavior. But his release for good behavior was cancelled when he got caught with drugs.
Right.
You arrived here a long time ago, right?
I arrived 20 minutes ago. I was able to do some interviews over there. Excellent interview, by the way. And boom, I was gathering the nectar.
Did the police officers come up to you?
There was a police officer who came and got me. Well, anyway. Thomas, check out this camera our taxes paid for. France TV, France Television. In the meantime, we can go see the Sainte-Chapelle if you want, Thomas. Yes, but it's a marvel. It's worth it. You should see it. So, the plan is that we actually have to wait for the deliberation. And we can't do interviews inside, so we're stuck outside. The problem is that outside there are people, but they're not here for this case. So, now we have to wait for the deliberation to take place. We wait at the exit to catch people as they come out. The good news is this could take hours. Women behind us are talking badly about me. Yeah, Alice, what are you doing here?
Today I joined a feminist association to support Lola's family, to attract media attention to this trial since low attendance limits coverage. It was important for us to be here to help attract media attention. To talk about it on social media, we're starting to have a small community to keep people informed as well, because a lot of people are wondering how things are progressing. And then it also allowed us to see a bit of the surroundings of the trial for Lola. We had in particular, every evening we took turns at the courthouse to attend hearings. Several TikTok influencers urged their followers to watch this as if it were a show, and that's exactly how it was filmed. That is, they were filming Lola's family, zooming in on their faces and making little introductions about them. Today is the second day of the trial for Lola, follow me. It was absolutely surreal. But as a result, above all, it crowded the courthouse. The courthouse, which on top of that, only provided a very small room. That's unbelievable. Lola wasn't allowed to have a real courtroom, a large criminal court, a big one. You should know that here there are rooms with 500 seats, but there were only 18, that's it. So actually, very quickly, there were very few of us in the courthouse. And it was quite unsettling, especially since some people were there for questionable reasons. At least with very violent behavior. Police officers were actually booed, and we were too, since we were recognized as far-right political figures. We were subjected to all sorts of curses and rather peculiar welcomes. Mostly young girls from the southern suburbs came to see this. And it's true that we were able to reflect on that aspect, which I think is important. Because causing some kind of riots inside a courtroom during a trial for a little girl, I think that's really serious and it needs to be talked about.
You weren't there this morning?
No, how did it go this morning?
It went very well. There weren't any Antifas who came to cause trouble during the gathering. Very strong words were spoken, and simply for justice for Lola. We demanded justice for Lola.
It was a mini demonstration, right?
It was mainly a patriotic gathering, a gathering also for Lola, a gathering in tribute for Lola. Most importantly, support Lola's family.
So I read that Lola's family was against the far right exploiting this case. What about that?
I don't think that's true. It seemed different to me.
Denied.
Yep.
We saw Lola's mother wearing that famous T-shirt, you know, the one that...
I don't think she's for or against any political spin. All she wants, it seems to me, is for this story not to be forgotten. She doesn't want people to forget. She needs support. Whether she's left-wing or right-wing, she needs support. And unfortunately here, it's only the right-wing that supports her. It really seems that way.
Oh, really?
Yes, of course. Where were the leftists at that gathering? Even shouting justice for Lola. Where are they? Apart from talking about Dabia Benkired, who apparently, since she suffered rapes and assaults... but we have to forgive her. We have to forget the harm she did to Lola. That's the impression I got when I read Coquillette's tweets.
So the left is absent, even though this is a crime committed against a child, a little girl.
This morning at Lola's gathering, a left-wing journalist showed up to mock us and bother Jordan Florentine.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Instead of supporting, no, we're all fascists because we support Lola and because we denounce the crime of an obligation to leave French territory.
And what do you take away from this trial?
This trial, it's difficult. We saw images that I think we'll never forget. We saw things we didn't think were humanly possible. There's a mix of a lot of themes that clash in there and that are important to highlight. I was shocked to hear some left-wing activists say Dabia acted that way because she experienced violence when she was younger. She may have experienced violence, but we all know women who have been through it and wouldn't act that way. You have to imagine that Lola's ordeal lasted for an hour and a half, and it involved rape, assault, and stabbing. They found 38 wounds on her 12-year-old body, then she was killed by asphyxiation. It's atrocious, and even though we know people who have gone through extremely violent trauma, they don't do things like this. And today there's a discourse on the left that tries to shift this by saying the real problem isn't the migration issue, that's not the problem. That she might not have been on the ground and if she had been deported, wait, Lola would still be here. Patriarchy isn't the only problem. Honestly, it angers me to see that claim because it's just not true. We know women who have suffered violence. We know women who have been raped. In no case, and thank God, do these women become torturers of 12-year-old girls. That's it. That's something else entirely. There are many things mixed together. Stories of culture and witchcraft she wanted to include. There's also the drug issue, which arises in this type of trial. Maybe the question of trauma, but that's not what led Dabia to do this. She did it knowingly and willingly. All the psychologists and psychiatrists said it. She did it knowingly and willingly. We have to accept that, well, there really are monsters out there.
You, the Nemesis Collective, are being accused of exploiting a heinous crime. How do you respond to that?
This is a false debate. We're here to highlight a little girl's life, just like we brought attention to the Pellicott case, like we've brought attention to many other similar cases. Nevertheless, yes, there is the issue of migration that arises. It's an issue that is close to our hearts. Today, the impact of violence by foreigners, especially against women, is often overstated. It's not debatable. Everyone in Europe now knows there's overrepresentation. Some cultures are more violent than ours. When large numbers from those cultures arrive in a country, it can lead to such violence. When nothing is managed, and that's what we wanted to denounce. We don't want this trial or any more like it. Lola, it's important for us to say that. And yes, I'll repeat it, even if I don't like to. If the orders to leave French territory had been enforced, Lola would be here.
Okay, so the verdict has just been announced. So the defendant has been sentenced to the maximum possible, which is life imprisonment without parole. We're going to see what people think about it.
Let's thank Badinter.
30 years, no parole. Actually...
Considering the crime she committed, she deserved much more than that to me.
Oh, really?
I'm still relieved for Lola's family because she got the maximum sentence, the harshest sentence in France. But otherwise, no, she deserved much more than that. We can thank Badinter.
And you, what do you think about it?
The same thing. We feel reassured, and we're happy to know that she's going to be locked up for a very long time. But we shouldn't have to pay for this thing. Our taxes shouldn't have to fund this kind of thing. If the orders to leave French territory were enforced, Lola would still be here. This sentence is fair, but it won't bring Lola or Johan back to their family.
And you, gentlemen, what about you?
These are the ones truly serving the maximum sentence. It's Lola's family because, well, Lola, they will never see her again. And Johan, Lola's father, who won't come back either. I want to say that, at least that's something. But we're still going to pay with our taxes. We're going to pay for her incarceration with our taxes. She really needs to leave the country. Really.
Do you want her to serve her sentence elsewhere?
Clearly, yes, because we don't have, with our taxes that we pay after working hard. It's just housing, not housed, since she's not French and has long been under an obligation to leave French territory. Besides, it's not up to us to pay for her incarceration, quite simply. She took the life of a young girl and indirectly of her father, who died of grief because of it.
So she carried out the death penalty, she did.
The death penalty.
Lola endured the death penalty.
Unfortunately, yes, and she was the one who received the harshest sentence in this whole case. Because, well, she won't come back again, and neither will her father, unfortunately. And she's here, and then she'll be incarcerated and paid with our taxes, even though we've already paid. Sadly, the life of a young girl with her future ahead was lost.
Remember, the prefect who was to enforce Dabia's obligation to leave French territory 3 years ago is now our Minister of the Interior. So I think he has a responsibility today to Lola's family, and all the magistrates have a responsibility, and they should be brought before justice. France can't allow more unenforced obligations to leave French territory.
It's complicated since I think 94% of obligations to leave French territory aren't enforced.
Absolutely. French society keeps supporting these people, and you see the result.
Hello.
You need to find the right balance in public spaces. There's no problem, you're not. You're welcome. She said that? She said she wanted me to go fuck my mom?
Yes, I was listening to them there earlier.
On the Quran? On the Quran, she said that.
Oh yeah, is that true? That's good, that's good. Really nice atmosphere around here. Hello, ma'am. Did you hear the verdict?
A little, yes.
So, what did you think about it?
Well, it's fair. 30 years is the maximum. The judge can't give more. The best would have been the death penalty, but that's not possible in France. So that's the problem. She's 27 years old. In 30 years, she'll get out. She'll be 57. And she probably won't even get out in 30 years. She'll probably get out in 20.
Oh, really? It's not reducible?
It's not reducible, but governments change, so they change the laws and...
Do you anticipate that?
Well, yes, they change the laws. They're not going to leave it as is. And with good behavior and all, she's young, that's it. No, it's sad. It's a sad affair. There you go. I say that parents need to brief their children, give them self-defense lessons, and stop them from following just any stranger. If she hadn't...
Lola didn't follow. She was dragged into the elevator.
Yes, she was dragged, but she couldn't scream. That's what she should have done. She should have screamed, struggled in case there was a weapon, struggled and screamed. You need to teach kids to scream so they can raise the alarm. If her parents were on the ground floor, they'd hear and intervene immediately. That's why kids should be taught to scream, not to be afraid. Because right now we tell them, no, don't make noise. No, you shouldn't. But yes, you should make noise. In the United States, I live there. Kids don't kiss anyone they don't know. If it's their father or mother, they don't kiss anyone else. Even friends who come over, they don't let anyone. They're briefed at 4 and push forcefully. If anyone approaches, they push and kick hard. So we have to teach kids right now. Lola wasn't the only one. There was also Melis and all the others.
Did you hear the verdict?
Yes.
The sentence?
We followed the whole deliberation with Anais, since Matilda was in the room, and updated us step by step. And we're a bit relieved anyway, despite the harshness. We're relieved about what was decided today. There was in particular the life sentence without parole, which was also requested by the family. The ban from French territory.
So after her sentence, she has to leave the country, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, that's right.
All right.
If she ever gets out of prison, she has to leave France.
Yes, and here it's really a prohibition. It's not an obligation. Normally it should be respected. I'll just read what was said since Matilda was there live. The jury found her guilty of rape involving vaginal and anal penetration, as well as acts of torture. And while Lola was alive, which is also important, is that Lola was raped and tortured while she was alive, which is absolutely atrocious. At least justice has been served, since there were aggravating circumstances of the victim being under 15. They said nothing justified the hatred toward Lola, noting a pathological absence but no dangerousness. So actually that means that throughout the whole trial, the defense of the accused tried to make it seem like she was insane, which was refuted by no less than 3 or 4 experts, I believe. So psychiatric experts who analyzed her, who had meetings with her, especially with the investigators. And so for us it's extremely important. We are really very relieved. It was certainly an intense week. We can't imagine what Lola's family endured. It's true, we as a collective worked hard to always be there. And we can say it, we're still proud of the activists, proud of what we've accomplished. Because it's our duty as feminists to be there in those moments that are so awful. Our presence allowed us to share information and keep serving as whistleblowers. We hope that Dabia won't appeal because she has 10 days to appeal. I admit, I don't know exactly what happens next.
If there's an appeal, everyone returns to trial, which can be tough for the family, especially since they're currently relieved and got what they wanted. They demanded this devil be locked away forever. And so, for their well-being, I think the least respect is just for them to go and ask for the truth. In this trial, which didn't occur because she repeatedly changed her story, she lied. So the least she could do would be to keep quiet and accept her sentence, which is well-deserved.
So tell me, you were inside. How did it go inside for the requisitions?
Actually, when we first arrived, the family was sobbing. Lola's mother actually had her head on the back of the bench, with her brother holding her in his arms and their lawyer. She was really crying hard, I think. It must be extremely stressful. They've waited 3 years just for this day. After that, it went pretty quickly. The court came in and then they announced the sentence. So she got the maximum sentence. It's incompressible. That means 30 years. That means that in 30 years she can't even get out of prison unless the judge agrees. So she will stay in prison for at least 30 years. It's an exemplary sentence given about 10 times since its creation in 1994. So it would have been a scandal if it wasn't given. But I think it's still a relief for everyone, especially for the family, that this is the case. After the announcement, the family began sobbing again. Lola's mother and brother cried and hugged each other. It was an emotional, difficult moment. I think those were tears of relief. I tried to catch Dabia's eye, but she showed no emotion, no tears, no reaction. It's a strange reaction.
Oh, yes.
You'd think someone getting 30 years in prison would show some reaction, maybe a tear or something. You think to yourself, we're going to spend the rest of our lives in prison. In this case, as throughout the trial, she remains silent. She's expressionless, with her head slightly lowered as she looks ahead. It was the same here. When she was told she'd spend at least 30 years in prison, she showed no reaction.
She's on medication, maybe, right?
Well, exactly. That's what everyone's wondering, since her behavior is strange. Actually, the experts were saying that she stopped her medication a little while ago, so normally, no, she's not on medication. Do they give her something during the hearing? Honestly, I couldn't say.
So, no reaction at all?
No, none.
Like throughout the whole trial?
During the whole trial, she stayed silent except for 2 sentences at the end. She lied and didn't mention the emptiness she caused. So yes, it's still surprising. I think the family was hoping for a bit of truth. And some things were never answered.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you. The lawyers of Dabia?
It was Dabia's lawyers, all right?
Yes, Dabia's lawyers argued she had a tough childhood. Actually, that was their plea: difficult childhood, abused woman who was mistreated by men, and so on. The prosecutor agreed, but noted she has a sister who experienced the same childhood events, and who is integrated into society, who has a job, who has friends, who has a clean criminal record. They wanted that, but insanity wasn't an option. After all, 3 psychiatric experts deemed her fit. But then they tried to plead the case of the victimized woman, you know, the woman who takes revenge for a traumatic past she supposedly had. Except it doesn't work. In any case, it didn't work this time.
So the dad's gone. The dad, he couldn't handle it. But I understand. I understand. Learning something like that, you can't picture it in 2025. Just unimaginable. In a suitcase cut up. You didn't see the photos? You had to. They were shown by the court's president. The mother and older brother left because it affected them directly, and they didn't want to stay. Some people also left. It was unbearable, you know. You think even to an animal you wouldn't do something like that.
No, of course. A few words for Lola?
Lola, we were here 3 years ago. And every day she's someone we cherish, someone we never forget. It's an unfortunate example that we want to show to put pressure on the leaders. In fact, today she's a symbol. And the unfortunate rape of Claire Geronimi, unfortunately, is the very illustration that nothing had been done since the aggravated murder of Lola. So Lola, we will continue, we will fight for your dad too, who unfortunately was a collateral victim of this, but we will not forget you.
Yes, I had read a very touching note. When I went in front of Lola's building, someone had written, "Sorry, Lola." I think that's powerful.
That's really powerful. It's true that every day, actually, you wish you could be there, cross paths with that little Lola coming home and save her, you know. I was very moved at the trial yesterday. Actually, the lawyer from the Foundation for Childhood who said, in fact, we've never met Lola, but we've all known her. She's our little sister, our cousin, our niece. And it's true that we all pictured someone from our own family, actually. Someone younger, someone weaker, who, unlike what many say, didn't happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, but instead met someone who was.
And how can we do that? You see, that's feudalism, girl. People don't realize that when they arrive, we notice them, they're well-dressed and everything. But in the mind, it's all happening in the mind. And the mind, it's feudalism, and still feudalism. They didn't have any tape because the girl was wrapped in tape, her head wrapped in tape, so she couldn't breathe, neither through her mouth nor her nose. What she endured must have been a nightmare. And now the girl, she leaves school, she's all happy, she's going home, and she ends up like that. She probably didn't understand what was happening to her there. I mean, she couldn't escape anymore, she couldn't do anything anymore. No one can understand because we're not used to being around those people, we're not used to being near them.
Above all, it's unfair because Dabia shouldn't have been on our territory. And actually, we realize that the state has failed. The state has what the slogan you came up with that you created was "the state killed me." And obviously Dabia killed Lola, but the state is complicit. It's terrible. Over 1 million orders to leave French territory weren't enforced from 2013 to 2014. 1 million is just crazy. That means some with orders to leave French territory could be very dangerous. And the state does nothing. And now we have a new Minister of the Interior who won't share the numbers on immigration and insecurity. We don't know what's ahead, but we'll be there no matter what. For Lola, Philippine, and all victims of insecurity and immigration to denounce violence against women. We won't back down, and I want to be clear about that. Luckily, the Nemesis Collective was there since no feminist organization attended. None. We were the only ones there taking turns day and night to be present in the courtroom to show our support for the family. And I think that's important. And I don't know about you, Vincent, personally, but in any case, I was imagining my little sister, maybe one day my own daughter. I can't live with the idea of telling myself that I wouldn't have done anything. I just can't. And I know that we're all in that mindset and telling ourselves that if we're fighting today, it's so that it doesn't happen anymore. Of course, we're doing it with our limited means, on our own scale, but we're doing it.
If you allow me to conclude, I just want to say that I am very, very sad that there isn't any state representative. It's still a tragedy that impacted all of France. The state, as Anais reminded us, was still somewhat complicit by not enforcing the law. So I find it quite shameful not to have a word, a thought, an hour to come by and visit the family, tell them they may have failed, but it won't happen again, and they will fully support them.
The atmosphere is terrible. The atmosphere is terrible. The atmosphere is disgusting. Some people at the trial are extremely strange.
They are especially strange and aggressive. They are very aggressive, and they're there for the wrong reasons.
They don't seem happy with the verdict, and the atmosphere is tense.
Yes, I see that. Many people have complained. A girl walked past a group of young people, and she heard them complaining about the outcome of the trial, like swearing on the Quran. They can't do that to Dabia.
Oh yeah?
Maybe that's why it's tense. There are two opposing sides.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah.
So this is likely Lola's family's exit. I think, the brother with a t-shirt with Lola's image on it. Yeah, I saw the hand. The atmosphere is a bit tense, though. Did you see the people back there? So now, in my opinion, the mother is speaking in the media, I think. And since I'm not in the media area, because I can't stand being in the media area, well, I don't attend the official statements. So that's the family coming down. The moment is still very solemn. A left-wing journalist exposed the fascist atmosphere in the courtroom. In the press room.
But that's what she put on Instagram.
Yeah, well, the family has left now. Very dignified, by the way. It was quite sad.
It was extremely moving. A week-long trial coming to an end, a long and difficult trial. We were afraid that justice might not necessarily be served, but justice was served. At some point, we all imagined Lola as our little sister or our daughter for some of us. And we just can't help but think what a waste.
It's not like when they say if the card is too big, it's suspicious. Also, there are journalists. The better, the more.
I'm angry because this little girl reminds me of myself and all the little girls in France when I was young.
The state is at the service of the citizens, at the service of the people, and here it has failed in its mission.
I think there's hope because I see a people who are waking up,